Oh, Miage, just one bite, you won't regret it. Get your curls percolated. Oh, Miage, get you some.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back to talk about Nappily Ever After, which was a Netflix original film with Sanaa Lathan and our fave Lynn Winfield just serving us everything. And Eddie Hudson. I think that's that man's name. I love him. He always giving you deep voice, dark skin, velvety, wavy hair, just luxuriousness. All right. So let's talk about Nappily Ever After, y'all. I thought it was good. Did y'all enjoy the movie? I loved it. I thought the message was so visceral. And I love seeing Sanaa Lathan in a different type of performance. This was different from her. She has played the bougie friend before. But to watch the nervous breakdown take place, I thought was like, wow, like she is acting her ass off in here right now. All right, so let's start at the beginning. The beginning starts off with us seeing Violet, that's her name, Violet Jones, seeing Vi as a young girl back in the day at the pool, watching all the little white kids run around with their hair wet and food all over their face, just being free children. And as a young black girl with a perm and straightened hair, you can't jump in that damn water because you're going to mess up your hair, okay? I had a moment like this too, except for my mama wasn't this serious about the hair thing. She was a hairdresser and she wanted me to look well kept. And I can remember one time she had just finished doing my hair and we were in a garage for something and it started raining. And as a child, like I did this. I went up and I, just kind of wanted to feel the water on my head and on my face. And I was just having this pure happy moment. And my mom screams, "Brittany, what are you doing? I just finished doing your hair. Get the hell out of that water." Get the fuck out the rain. And in that moment watching this, I totally understood what happened. The difference between me and her is that I had a perm, and when my hair got wet, it didn't puff up like that no more. So it got wet and it got messed up, but it wasn't like a moment of me being made fun of by anybody and then having my mother condemn me in that moment. It added some other, mental bullshit onto the situation. You know what I'm saying? But I do remember having that feeling of just always having to watch your hair. You can't be in rain. You can't just go swimming. Like it was just always constant to be aware of your hair. All right? And like Vi, I got tired of that shit and that, I got a weave. And then at 16, I said, "Mama, cut it all off." At 16, I was done. I was over it. I wanted to feel water on my scalp when I got in the shower. I wanted it to just fall down my face. I wanted to feel the freedom of not giving a fuck whether it was raining or humid because I live in Southeast Louisiana and that is always the case, okay? So look, I had a special, kindred spirit thing with this movie, all right? So we see Violet, and she's laying in the bed with her man with her hair wrapped up, but then she pull a Whitley Gilbert and get up before he get up so she can go and brush her teeth and put on makeup and do her hair and then lay back down in the bed and make it seem like she's been sleeping perfectly the entire night. And y'all know that shit ain't real. If your bitch look like that when she get up, she done got up and did you the same okey doke. Nobody is getting up in the morning with fresh breath. Doesn't happen. Not real. Also, if she got up and it looked like she had makeup on, there should be some on the pillow. If there's none on the pillow, she tricking you, okay? I'm just saying. She tried that Whitley Gilbert shit. Her mom comes in and, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. What is she doing there? She's all excited because they figured out that her boyfriend Clint is going to propose to her. It's a little blue Tiffany box in his jacket in the closet. She shows her mom, and then her mom proceeds to flat iron her hair so she can go and lay back down in the bed and pretend to be perfect with this man. I'm like, okay. Clint is Vi's boyfriend of 2 years. He has an accent. He's cute. It's all right. All right, and then they start to, get into it and have sex, and just to watch her trying to keep him from grabbing her hair doing sex. I'm like, really? We doing all of that? Like, he keep trying to grab her head and she keep pulling his head down, which makes her flip him on his back and get on top so that he can't touch her hair. And he pulling the hair, she like, "Oh, no, know. I was like, the things we do. Okay, then we see her prancing to work, giving y'all all the life with the hair. Okay, giving y'all all the life with the hair. Checking the forecast every 5 minutes to make sure that it won't rain. Now, Vi is big shit at her firm. She works at an advertisement firm, and she is one of the heads of like the beauty stuff. She does beauty advertisements and plans and pitches them for commercials and stuff like that. That's what she does. She's the pretty girl. She went to lunch with her homegirls. They had a nice time, and when they're leaving, these kids are like playing with water, and she stops and looks. She's like, oh, I can't wait. And I'm like, girl, what you mean you can't wait? There's no way that you're gonna remain perfect once kids come into the world. So the little kid is trying to spray his sibling, but sprays her and messes up her perfect hair. And tonight is supposed to be her birthday dinner where she's expecting to get proposed to. So she is losing her shit trying to find somebody to redo her hair. Her mama's not answering the phone, and her homegirl is like, okay, you could just go to my salon. I'll call her and see if I can get you an appointment. So she calls, and the girl had an appointment. So Vi had to pay the client $200 so that she could take her appointment. I was like, girl, that is so not worth it. I would have so put that shit up into a bun and baby slicked that hair and called it a fucking day. Ain't nobody going through all of that. Okay, $200 extra on top of how much you about to pay to get your hair washed, conditioned, and flat ironed. Child, whatever. So when she goes into the salon, the owner of the salon, this guy named Will, all right, he does hair, and he is trying to convince this woman sitting in his chair that she's still beautiful, because he must have convinced her to cut her hair off and go natural. That's his thing. He's trying to convince women they don't need perms. They can look their natural, beautiful selves and feel beautiful. Brother wants somebody that's real. And I'm like, some of you brothers want somebody that's real. And in all honesty, if we were all real, y'all would have no fucking choice but to pick from the real, okay? Like, we give y'all fake options. If y'all didn't have fake options, y'all would fuck exactly what we was giving to y'all. And that's the whole point of how women rule the narrative in a way. Like, men try to rule it, but ultimately, if women and I mean all of us decided that we weren't going to do certain things anymore, men would have to adapt because they want the cookie. They would have to adapt. But back to the man trying to convince the woman that she's beautiful. Vi is rolling her eyes, and there's this little girl named Zoe who's sweeping up the shop, and she sees her. She was like, you know, with all of that money that you just gave that other client, you could use that to feed some children in Uganda. And she like, little girl, who are you talking to? Like, why are you talking to me about my money? And that's when the hairstylist comes. She's like, Zoe, leave my client alone. She was like, girl, okay, with her hair looking like that, my mom would whip my butt if I was talking to people and had my head like that. Just making comments about the little girl's natural hair, which hurt her feelings and made her feel some type of way. So when it came time for Vi to get her deep condition, the little girl handed the lady who put the deep condition in her hair perm instead. So she's sitting under the dryer with perm in her head. And I don't know if y'all know, but you are not supposed to add heat on top of relaxer. You're not supposed to do that because your fucking hair will fall out. And that's exactly what's happening. She had a whole Tina Turner moment. Okay? All that hair falling out in the sink. Oh my God! Oh my God! You know, everybody losing their shit. And then she starts to go off on the little girl because the girl who was washing her hair said, I just used what Zoe gave me. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me you're a hairstylist and you don't know the difference between the smells of a relaxer and the smells of a conditioner? I know this is a movie. I know this is a book. It's just a story. But if there has ever a hairdresser out there that can't smell a product and tell you that that's relaxer, not conditioner, they don't need to be doing your fucking hair trying to blame that little girl. You should have looked at what you put in her hair. How could you even apply that to her hair and not smell it? Relaxer smells so strong. It has a very strong smell, especially when wet relaxer. Like wet relax, you could smell that shit down the street. Okay, you walk into the hair salon, somebody got a perm on their head. Ooh, you can smell it when you walk through the door. All right, I know because I grew up in a hair salon. So I'm looking at this woman like, how y'all gonna turn around and blame that little girl because she don't know what the fuck she doing behind that bowl? I ain't got time. Anyway, again, going off on the little girl hair, and Will, the daddy, stuff. He's like, I'm sorry about this. This is my salon. This is my problem. But don't talk about my child like that. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. You need to go out there and find a weave and fix my fucking hair. And that's what ends up happening. Find a weave, fix the hair. She goes on with her life after bruising that little girl's ego, telling her she look ugly with her hair. Fuck out of here. Vi. At her birthday dinner, we find out that her daddy and mom are separated. Her mom is a hater, and her dad is an underwear model. And I'm just like, oh, all right, Mr. Eddie, you better be an underwear model. Show him what you got. At the table, y'all know Connie, Miss Connie from Greenleaf is sitting right next to Lady May. Okay, I don't know if they're sisters or family members or old friends, whatever. But Miss Connie is I'm not liking Miss Connie with that wig on. I wanted to see Miss Connie with that silver fox that she always giving us. I love that. But I guess they wanted her to look a little bit younger in this role. So Miss Connie is there and she's telling a story about how I'ma just say mama, because I don't want to keep calling her Lady May. When Lynn Whitfield was a child and how she got made fun of as a child for having an afro. And I'm like, what era did you grow up in that you were being made fun of for having an afro? Because it looked like you grew up during the time when everybody had afros. You know what I'm saying? 60s and 70s, my people. Either way, we can see that left a bad taste in the mom's mouth, and that's probably why she feels so strongly about her daughter having perfect hair, because she doesn't want her to get made fun of the way she got made fun of. Child, pathologies. So we all getting ready for this proposal, right? We all ready. He's giving a speech about how perfect Vi is. She think he about to pop out a ring, but she opens the box and it is a dog collar, y'all. A dog collar from Tiffany says Lola. She's like, what? And then they bring out a bigger box and it's the dog, y'all. Got her a little small chihuahua puppy and, you know, with a little Lola around the neck. Look, you guys, our first pet. What the fuck? We was expecting rings in here. Gave me no fucking dog. She was upset about it. She was in the bathroom laid out and her mama said, you better suck it up. Pick up that mutt, put a smile on your face and go out there and show that man some appreciation. He may not have married you today, but he will marry you soon. So act like you got some sense. She go out there and dance with him and act like it ain't nothing. Goes home and he can obviously tell that she is upset. And she says, absolutely nothing happened at the birthday party. Nothing happened. He's like, oh, so what's that supposed to mean? And she was like, I was expecting a proposal. And he was like, we've been together for 2 years and I had to call your assistant to find out what your favorite color was, what your favorite food was, what your favorite wine was. She was like, so? It's like, well, I should know all of that from you. I don't even know who you are. We've been on a 2-year first date this whole time. And that really makes her upset and pisses her off. And she says, well, I guess we should stop wasting each other's time. Good night, sir. And kicks his ass out. And he like, oh, so you gonna break up with me because I'm not marrying you right now? She said, yeah. Bye. To the left, to the left. Work out your hips. Work out your hips. Fuck out of here. A puppy. Nigga, please. Okay? So because of this emotional turmoil, she goes to work the next day to present this pitch. And the first time she did the pitch, it was great. The second time, not so much. The account got accepted, but they didn't want her on the account. She's falling all over the place, lackluster as shit, just not as confident as she was the first time. And she had a bad day at work. They give her a few days off, so she goes shopping. She goes shopping and she sees the little girl Zoe in a store stealing. So she goes in the store and tells her to put the shit back, and she's taking her outside the store and she's like, no, no, no. And then her bag starts to beep. Apparently Zoe had stole more than what Violet thought she stole. So they both had to deal with the police in the store, and Will, her dad, comes to get her and he's fussing at the little girl and she's like, hold up, you know, I know that I don't really have place because that's not my child, but I just got frisked because of what she did. So let me tell you that you don't know what's going on with your little girl, bruh. And he was like, lady, do I know you? Do you know me? Mind your fucking business. Like, gave her to get the fuck out my face, lady, okay? And went on about his day. So then Violet decides to go blonde. She called it fuck it hair. And her homegirls was like, if you gonna have fuck it hair, you need a fuck it dress, okay? Fuck them, girl. Fuck them. Fuck them, girl. Fuck them. All right? So she gets her club attire and they go to the club, and upon stepping down off the stairs into the club, she falls flat on her face. And some kind of like, you know, little corny white guy comes up and he's like, you know, you're going to spend the rest of your night thinking about this, but if you come over here and kick it with me for a minute, I might make you smile. So they have drinks and boring conversation, which leads back to his beautiful house. And they're trying to get into it and she all drunk and he's like, your hair taught me everything I needed to know about you. I'm like, really? Because she's a black woman with blonde hair, you thought that she takes risk? Really? Because it's a risk for us as African American women to want to look white. That's the risk? Okay. I'm like, honestly, the risk is having natural hair. The risk is saying, fuck you, I'ma look how I look. I'ma look how my hair looks when it comes out of my head, moisturized and braided up, but I'm still gonna be me. That's the risk, okay? The risk is not to put on a blonde, hair color or a blonde wig and go out into the world and prance around like you hot puss. Either way, them trying to have sex was some of the most awkward, ridiculous shit I'd ever seen. I don't know why she thought she needed to pour that much honey on his chest. Girl, you just pour a little bit on each nipple. That's all you do. You don't need all of that. Honey is too fucking sticky for that. You need to be in a tub and put plastic on the ground if you're going to have honey all over everything and all of that. She even got it on her. She ended up slipping on the honey on his chest and headbutting him, and then he started bleeding, which is when she decided that this date wasn't going right and she just needed to go ahead and exit the premises. It starts to rain as she's waiting for her Lyft or her Uber or whatever, and she gets in a car and she decides to try to make a last-ditch attempt to go and holler at Clint. So she gets to Clint's hospital, and he all snuggled up with some doctor bitch, like they been fucking for a minute. And he walks over to her when he sees her and asks her what's going on with her hair. And she like, it's fucking here. Don't you see? Fuck it. She said, I see you over here. You done moved on real quick. He was like, you left me. And she was like, so what? And you moved on without any hesitation. She was hurt. She walked off. She left. And he just let her leave. Obviously, I don't know what y'all been doing for 2 years. Because if he moved on that quick, we don't need to talk. I feel like you been cheating on me if this girl already all up in your face, all happy, and y'all look like y'all done already had sex. We've been broke up for 2 days. Fuck out of here. So she goes home and has her Angela Bassett waiting to exhale moment, okay, with alcohol though. Let me tell y'all, Angela Bassett on Waiting to Exhale was sober as fuck when she threw all of her husband's shit into the car and blew it up. But on this scene, she got her little bottle of wine. She trying to grab all his shit, put it in the box and all of that. And eventually she works her way into the mirror, and she sees her hair has blown up since it got wet. And she tries to comb it with this little flimsy ass comb, but to no avail. So finally, in her drunken, I don't know, I guess out-of-body experience that she was going through, she was having a nervous breakdown, okay? And then she starts to shave off her hair, y'all. And this image of her in the mirror cutting her hair off, and with every stroke of the hair being gone and her seeing scalp, she seemed like she could breathe again. It was crazy. She was like, and she takes it off and she's like, oh, and you could tell she's going crazy and she's crying and she's losing her shit. But it was a moment that had to happen, because you can't go through your whole life thinking you're gonna be perfect. There is no such thing. There is no such thing. And there's so much beauty in imperfections. Like, if there's anything that the plastic era has taught me, is that you could try to look perfect, but sometimes the perfectness is in the flaws, the differences, the lines, the cracks, the asymmetry, like whatever. Like, I'm not a perfect person, but for some reason people love telling me how beautiful I am. I appreciate it. I look at the same face every day in the mirror, so I don't feel that way. Like, I feel like I'm beautiful as a person, but my looks, I'm not always so sure about. But at the end of the day, I'm humbled by other people viewing me that way, and I imagine that what they seeing is the confidence or the spirit or whatever. But like, I don't have the most perfect face, but I'm not about to go fucking change that for nobody. This is how I look. This is what the Lord gave me to give to y'all. All right, and I'm gonna do the best I can with it and give it to y'all. That's all I got, But just that realization of always trying to be perfect is so exhausting. And in this moment, we see her finally free herself of that. She cuts off all her hair. She goes to bed, wakes up in the morning, sees that she doesn't have any hair, and flips the fuck out. Ah! Like, damn, how fucked up was you? You didn't remember that you cut all your hair off? God damn, I ain't never been that drunk. I always remember what happened last night. Her mama comes over, and she's trying to like lean into her mama for comfort, and her mama passes out. So she got to call her daddy, and her daddy comes over, and he put her in the bed, says she's all right. She thinks you're a lesbian, so be prepared for that. And he said, you really need to stop calling me for all of this, all right? We not together no more. And she's like, well, what if I need you, daddy? Like, look at this. Look what I did to myself. And he's like, oh, baby. He was like, you might think this is something that you did all of a sudden, but I think you've been working your way up to this for a long time. You've been building your way up to this nervous breakdown, baby. And if there's anybody that understands it, I do. And he, tells her that he loves her and she's beautiful. And now you can just see even more of her beautiful face. And y'all, never has that been truer. Like, I'm just saying, y'all, Sanaa looks gorgeous with no hair. It's crazy to me. Crazy. But I mean, because you didn't, you're beautiful with hair. But when she was just like walking, especially when she had that confidence and she had that bald head, baby, she was serving it, okay? Serving it. So she tries to take herself to work, but she's so depressed. She's wearing this scarf around her head and she's in the bathroom crying. And there's a woman that's trying to get into the stall. I'm like, this bathroom only got one fucking stall. What is going on here? And she's like, leave me alone, lady. And the lady starts crying and she goes outside and the lady, sees her and she's like, I thought I was getting married. And the lady's crying. She's like, I've just been all over the place, just two strangers crying in the bathroom together. And the lady says, why don't you come to my group? And she says, yo, group? She was like, I don't really tell strangers my business. And the lady was like, you just did. Here's the card. Come on to the group. So she goes to the group. And figures out that it's a cancer group. Because she had that scarf tied around her head like that, it seemed as if maybe she was going through chemo or something like that. And she realizes that she tries to walk out, and the lady who's heading the group is like, you don't have to do that. And she explains that she just cut her hair off because her boyfriend wouldn't propose to her, and how minuscule that seems in comparison to these women talking about the fight for their lives. And they're like, well, one of the worst things that we went through is knowing that we were going to lose our hair. So let's see it. And she pulls off the scarf and they all laugh and they're like, well, I see why you're being ignored. Because they feel like, when you're bald-headed and you used to have long hair, now you're being ignored. But no, you just not owning it. You got to own it, sis. You got to give it life and décolletage. Like, and I felt that, all right? So she goes back to work with her head held high with lipstick on, and everybody in the job is looking at her like, oh, all right, you go, girl. Yes, they was feeling it. So she gets to work and decides that she wants to be put on a different type of advertisement pitch. She doesn't want to deal with beauty right now. She needs to be far away from beauty. So she asked to do this Amber Light ad. And her boss was apprehensive, but decided to go ahead and give her a shot to throw her pitch in and see if it would work out. But if not, he wants her to go back to the old her. And I'm like, I hope you don't mean you think she gonna grow her head back, grow her fucking hair back. She not. She not. And ain't nobody putting a wig on to make you motherfuckers happy up in here. So later on, she and her homegirls go to a bar to get inspiration for the ad that she's doing. And her homegirls love it, and she talks about how freeing it is not having to deal with her hair all the time. And how she can focus on other parts of herself. And other parts, I guess, wanted to rectify some situations. So she went and bought the dress that Zoe was trying to steal and brought it to her house. So she gives Zoe this dress and she has Zoe walk back and forth and just show her how to stand up straight and, walk like a lady, just giving her some tips that obviously she's been missing out on not having a mother in her life. And Zoe asked her, she was like, do you think that I can say that this dress came from my mom? Because my dad always gets so sad when he sees that she's forgotten about my birthday again. And she said, sure, of course. But just the time that she thought to spend with that little girl, she needed that. She needed that love. She needs to hear that she was beautiful, that she didn't have to perm her hair. So she braids her hair, and then the dad comes home and they kind of have to have a discussion, and she apologizes, he apologizes, and they seem to be feeling each other, but who wouldn't be feeling Lyric? Yeah, that's his name. That's his real name. Will is his name on the movie, but I'm gonna call him Lyric because I like that name, obviously. So Violet's daddy's underwear ad came out, and mama don't know how to handle all the church ladies talking about the gift that her husband has bestowed upon the world. That big ass ad was all over the place. Everybody talking about how blessed Violet's daddy is. I was like, ain't he though? She goes on a date with Will, And it's it's cute enough. But the real part that got me was when he brought out some of his oil, because he has these natural hair products and he's trying to instill in his daughter and in other women to be proud and embrace who they are naturally. And he takes this oil, this passion fruit oil, and he rubs it on her head. And at first she was like, like, okay, like she didn't really want it. But see, when he started to rub and massage, she was like, oh my God, that smells so good. And y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something. That was one of the best things about cutting all my hair off. Every time I've cut all my hair off, one of the things that I really couldn't wait to do was to get in the shower and just put my hands on my head, in my head, rub my head, massage my head without being obstructed by hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, it's definitely a feel. It's definitely a feel. And to have a man rubbing his handmade oil all over your newly shaved scalp, girl, take the blessings when you find them. So then we get to the new growth, and her hair starts to grow in, and she takes Will to this barbecue that her mom has, and it's a fucking disaster. Her mom is trying to hook her up with some other guy with Will standing right there. Of course, Lil Whitfield got to be her shady self, talking about he ain't got no call, talking about, oh, he work at a hair shop, and he was like, yeah, I'm very proud of the hair shop that I work in that my mama owned before me. I got to go pick up my daughter. And he was like, oh, this the one without no call. Really? Really? So he storms out, and it seems at moments that she was trying to make excuses for him. And he felt that, and he was upset by that, because he feels like, look, I know who I am. I don't need to be with a woman who doesn't know who she is. What the fuck was that in there? So they just kind of break it off. And I was just like, damn, I thought this was going somewhere good, but I guess not. So Vi works on her ad, and she presents it to her boss. And the ad is 4 guys are at a game. It's a Cavs versus a Hawks game. And they're the Cavs fans in a seat for the female Hawks fans, and they're screaming and hollering and screaming and hollering, and one of the women calls over the Amber Lights and buys the men beers, and then they shut up and they're quiet for the remainder of the game. And we see the 2 homegirls, bump fists, yeah, we got the niggas to shut up. And then the men realize that all of their beers are out now. They get all depressed, and then they start screaming again, making all of these noise, and then all of the women raise their hand to call the Amber Light people over to get these niggas some beers so they can shut the fuck up so we can enjoy this game. And I was just like, oh, I like that. That's cute. That was cute. Now, the pitch that the white boys came up with was, okay, so a ship is going down, and there are these hot women on a raft, and they have to choose between this really hot bodybuilder guy or this lame, corny-looking dude. And they choose the lame, corny-looking dude. You know why? Because he has the Amber Light. And then we see him, floating off with the hot women, and the hot guy dying and drowning. I'm like, that's a good pitch. First of all, we've seen that before. Second of all, that's depressing. And I'm tired of this fucking narrative that if you are, an unattractive, lame dude or something like that, you having something that a woman wants will get you to have her. You know what I'm saying? Like that narrative of, I could be old, ugly, unattractive, treat you bad and all of that. But as long as I got money or Amber Light, you gonna want me, won't you, bitch? Like, I was just like, that is so, that is, And the boss, being the that he is, white man, loving the idea that the white men came up with, he goes with their idea instead of Vi's. And she's like, you know what? I quit. He was like, this is just one ad. And she's like, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I think I need a change. All right. And she walks out just like that, quit her job. I was like, girl, you better quit. All right? This is the age of, oh, y'all ain't gonna treat me right? I quit. This is the age of that. You better know it. So after quitting her job, she goes home and puts on some music, and she's, dancing and letting loose in front of her little dog and having a good time. And all of a sudden, Clint pops up and scares the shit out of her. He had been standing there watching her for a while. And he, she's like, what are you doing here? And he has piss all over his shirt, because apparently he picked the dog up thinking the dog was going to miss him or something like that, but the dog peed on him instead. And then he tells her about how he's sorry for telling her that something was wrong with her, for making her feel like something was wrong with her, and that there is nothing wrong with her. He just thought that he was never going to be able to be what she wanted or what she needed, because she was always perfect, and he felt that he wasn't. And in this moment, they just seem to have like a, oh, okay, so we back here again. It's not over. And he says, I was going to take a shower and, finish packing my stuff up. She said, well, go ahead and do what you got to do. So he goes in there and takes a shower. And when he broke up, well, when she broke up with him, he mentioned how they never even let loose in a shower before. Of course, she's scared of messing up her hair. But now that she got new growth, she like, oh, all right. And I like the new growth. The new growth is real soft and wispy, like in a cute cut. I was like, yeah, serving it. So she go ahead and get in the shower with him, okay? Put something on him, give him something he can feel. Let him see what it's like to get buck wild nasty in the shower. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Okay? And they go on and have their nights together, and it seems like they're back in a groove of things, and she's up cooking breakfast. She even stopped herself from doing what she used to do and pulling that Whitley Gilbert shit. She stopped herself, and she went and cooked breakfast for them. And he's like, you know what else I realized while we were apart? That you always took care of me. So you know what? You sit down and I'm going to cook breakfast for you. And they have a conversation, and he's like, so do you, think you're ever going to grow your hair back? And I was like, see, that right there would have made me feel some type of way. Why the fuck you want to know if I'm going to grow my hair back? Because you feel some type of way about me not having long hair? I've been with men who felt some type of way about me not having long hair. That didn't stop them from fucking me, though. Okay? Make your fucking comments about my hair, but you wasn't saying nothing when we was in the shower and you was rubbing your fingers through it, nigga. Okay? Anyway, at the moment, she didn't think of it like that. He starts to tear up, and she thinks that he's crying because of her, but really he's crying because he's cutting up onions. And, they had their little cute moment, and he gets down on one knee with a piece of the onion and says, will you marry me? And she's like, oh my God, yes. I'm like, really? Really? One fuck and y'all back and now y'all want to get married to each other? Like, I don't know. It all felt too quick for me, because I feel like if y'all don't know each other, y'all need to spend more time knowing who y'all are for real, without makeup, without hair, without false pretenses, without being, without all of the bullshit that happens when you first dating somebody. You know what I mean? Like passing gas, leaving toothpaste on the counter. We need to know these things before we marry one another. As far as I'm concerned, can I deal with the gas that you pass? Okay, can I deal with it? I don't know. Okay, some people's gas is killable. Like you can kill somebody letting that shit out, just in a bed, and then I lift the covers up, and then, oh my God, I'm almost dead in here. You know what I'm saying? Can you deal with my thoughts? That's what we need to know before we get married. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Whatever. They decide they're going to have an engagement party, and that's when they'll have their, their real engagement announcement to everybody. Everybody's all excited. Her mom is happy. Her friends are happy. She thinks she's happy. They're getting ready for this engagement party, and she's helping him with his tie, and he's like, so are you going to do something with your hair? And y'all, I have heard that so many times, and I hate that. I hate that. Am I going to do something with my hair? As if it needs to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand when you're not neat, because when you have natural hair, it's important for you to still be neat, for your hair to be clean, for you to not have lint in your fucking afro, shit like that. But she didn't look that way. She looked beautiful. She had her little baby hair plucking, and he wanted her to do something with her hair. So she calls her mom over to straighten her hair. And they have this engagement party, and she meets his parents, and his parents seem kind of stuck up. But we at her mom's beautiful home with a pool and all of that shit. And it seemed really uncomfortable. Little Zoe is there because she and Violet have grown close regardless of the relationship with Clint. Regardless to the relationship with her father, Will, Violet still spends time, being a mother figure to Zoe. And Zoe is there in her beautiful dress, and she's eating food and, biting off of it and putting it back on the platter. So the mama comes over there like, what are you doing, little girl? And then she tells her that her hair is, interesting or unusual. She was like, well, I hope unusual mean dope, because I know I look good, old lady. And then, like just a shade of it all, trying to shade that little girl. The little girl looked cute. She had her hair braided up and a little chain, y'all, her little curls hanging down. I was like, all right, Miss Zoe, you better give us life. All right. And Violet comes over to check her mama, and, Zoe kind of runs off. And that's when Lord Will. And that's when Clint comes over, and he's like, I want to make the announcement. But her feet are hurting her, so she goes inside, and she takes the shoes off. And I remember there being a moment at the beginning of the movie at her birthday dinner where the heel had been cutting into the back of her foot, and she was bleeding. And I'm just like, the shit that we go through to look good. Like, I'm not one of them. I refuse to walk around with uncomfortable shoes on all day. I'm not one of those. If I know I'm going somewhere and I'm going to be sitting down for the most part, I'll wear wear uncomfortable shoes that's just sexy and cute and all of that. But otherwise, I am not one of those. I don't need height. I'm cute as fuck. 5'2.5", 5'3", 150 pounds, bitch. I don't need to have on heels with blood on the back of my ankle for y'all to think I'm sexy. Okay, bitch? I can walk on my tippy toes and serve it to you in here. I don't need to be putting myself through that type of pain so that you could deem me sexy or attractive. And that's what we saw her do. So now she goes inside and she's sitting there and she takes her shoes off, and her mom and them coming there after a while trying to figure out, the dude comes in there, Clint comes in there like, what's taking you so long? What's going on? And she's like, well, you want me to be perfect. And if I go out there without these shoes on, then I'm not going to be perfect. Okay, so I'm just sitting here. I'm stuck. Ain't that sad? And her mom and her daddy come in, and her mom is like, girl, what are you talking about? Get yourself up and get out there. And she was like, Mama, do you remember when I was a kid and we were at the pool and I jumped in the water and my hair puffed up and you dragged me out the pool and put me in a car and we went home? She was like, yes, and she was like, well, I wonder who I would have been if you would have hugged me and told me that I was beautiful anyway. Oh, Lord, the realness of that. Oh, my God. I was just like, see, it starts with us. It starts with us. We can't have these issues and then put them on our kids and have them feeling less than and having nervous breakdowns and shit like that. You got to tell your babies they're beautiful, whether they bald-headed, whether they got natural hair, perm hair. You beautiful no matter what. But I want you to start off feeling beautiful with what God gave you. Like me personally, I don't feel like I'm ever going to perm my child's hair. You want your child to be able to tell people, fuck you. I don't care what you like. I like it. Kiss my ass. Like not in those words, but you want them to have that feeling in their soul. Her mama tells her that if she had just hugged up, maybe she wouldn't be marrying Clint. And she was like, you know what? You are absolutely right. You know what? I'm going to go for a swim. So she goes outside and jumps in a pool and has this moment of just freedom. And she was like, come in, the water's fine. And thank you. The two homegirls. Them two homegirls are some real fucking friends. Them girls put them drinks down and jumped in that damn water. Zoe jumped in the water. And then the daddy, who knows that the mama still love him and he still loved the mama, grabbed the mama and they jumped in the water and her wig came off and she just had her plaits in her head and everything. And he was like, you have never looked more beautiful. And then, Connie jumped in the water and some two old ladies who was like, child, I ain't been swimming in 50 years. Then they jumped in the water and it just was this beautiful freeing moment of all of her family just floating around this pool having a good time while Clint's stuck up ass family stands on the sidelines looking like they smell shit. I was like, see that right there? He ain't jumping in the pool with you. Y'all ain't meant to be. I need a nigga that either gonna be laughing at me jumping in the pool or jumping in the pool with me, okay? Or starting to take shit off and jump in the pool. I don't know. But you can't just be standing there looking disappointed at me because I jumped in my mama pool. Fuck out of my face. Like, they wasn't meant to be, okay? So she has this freeing moment and this realization with her mom and this resolve. And then we see her nappily ever after. She's doing a pitch. She's doing a pitch for the basketball player. Y'all, I can't believe I'm spacing on his name right now, who used to be the reunion host for basketball. John Sally. John Sally was a part of the advertisement campaign that she was doing initially. So now she's with him and a whole bunch of other black people talking about Will's hair care products and how we need to teach women to be happy and proud of who they are and have products that will help them manage their so-called unmanageable African-American, thick, beautiful, curly hair. And I just love that moment. I love that moment because John Sally was like, why would I put something out that basically competes with my other things? He was like, you know why? Because we need to give women the choice. They already make the choice for themselves. They already decide whether they want to be permed or natural. They make that decision for themselves. You just want to be the person that is able to give them what they want once they decide what it is that they want. If they want a perm, supply the perm. But if they want beautiful, natural, long, curly, thick ass hair, then they need to go ahead and get these natural products that Will makes. I loved it, okay? And then when they walk off, we realize that she and Will are still not dating. They're just friends, and she was helping him out, and she walks off feeling so confident and proud and happy with herself, and men are once again looking at her as she walks past. And let me tell y'all something. Sanaa Lathan is finer than a fucking Snickers, okay? That bitch thicker than a Snickers, fine, juicy, everything. I was like, girl, go ahead. I follow her on Instagram, so she posted the pictures of the night before when they had the little premiere party for the movie. She looked so good. She looked fan-fucking-tastic, okay? Yes, Lord. I was here for the movie. I loved it. And I even loved the ending, that it didn't have to end with her having this fairy tale ending with some man, but the fairy tale ending of being happy, proud, and loving who I am. And whoever I love after that is going to have to love who I am and love what I'm into. Y'all, I was here for it. I was here for the message. It made me feel good because I feel like right before I met my husband, I also had, come to that realization that I was happy with who I am. I know who I am. I'm good with who I am. My body, my face. And yeah, I have insecurities every now and again, but for the most part, Bondi loves Bondi. Okay? Brittany loves Brittany. Okay? And in order for somebody else to come along and love Brittany the right way, Brittany had to love Brittany right before anybody else. You know what I mean? But I'm just thankful because I feel like that was something that was instilled in me along the way. My mama always told me I was beautiful no matter what. And, even though my daddy was a hard ass, and he wasn't the one to tell you, oh, you look beautiful. He didn't say stuff like that. But he'd buy you stuff and let you know that he loved you because he bought it for you. So, people show love in different ways. But I'm just grateful looking at this. I'm grateful for having a mother who, even though she was a hairstylist and was always, pulling out a flat iron or a comb to make me look good, at the end of the day, when I was 16 and ready to shave off all my hair, my mama is the one that did it for me. So I love you, Mom. I love you so, 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 so much. I just wanted to say that. I hope she watches this. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed Nappily Ever After. I thought it was good. I loved it. I watched it twice. If y'all have Netflix, definitely check it out. Love yourself. Love who you are. Women out there who always talking about, I don't look good with my natural hair. Stop lying to yourself because you don't want to take the steps it takes to do all of that. You don't really want to deal with it. That's fine. But don't lie to yourself and say that I'm not going to look good with my natural hair because that is fucking ridiculous. You look good with what God gave you. And if you want to do something else with that, that is your choice, that is your prerogative. But please always know that at base level, we are all beautiful. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Have a good Sunday. And I'll see y'all tonight for Married to Medicine and Insecure and everything else. Oh, look. Yes. I'll see y'all later.